Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Muhammad Daniel Syahmi bin Muhammad Noor and my partner Nora Indosina binti Muhammad Bil Hafiz, and we will be presenting on balancing growth and green strategies for sustainable development in developing economies. For developing economies around the world, pursuing economic growth and sustainability has become a crucial problem. For both the current and future generations to enjoy a prosperous and resilient future, it is imperative to strike a balance between the twin goals of economic growth and sustainability. This case study offered a comprehensive grasp of sustainable growth practices in a variety of economic, social, and environmental situations. The goal of this study is to pinpoint effective tactics that have successfully struck a balance between responsible production and consumption behaviors and economic growth. Additionally, it aims to showcase novel policy strategies that have proven effective in advancing both sustainable development and economic advancement in developing nations. There are five main issues in this study, which is financial constraints and technology transfer, balancing economic growth with environmental conservation. The third one is leveraging natural resources and biodiversity, strengthening public-private partnerships and regulatory framework. And the last one is capacity building and skill development. For the analysis of the issues and the first one, which is the financial constraints and technology transfer, the need for large financial investment in sustainable infrastructure and technologies is one of the main problems facing developing economies. Access to money and technology transfer is frequently restricted for developing countries, especially those with smaller economies. And the second one is balancing economic growth with environmental conservation. Research highlights the complex trade offs between environmental preservation and economic progress in developing economies. Policymakers must balance economic growth with sustainable habits, strict regulations, and eco friendly technologies to reduce poverty and advance society, while incorporating environmental impact assessments into development projects. The third one is leveraging natural resources and biodiversity, which is developing economies rich natural resources and biodiversity offer potential for sustainable economic growth. Policymakers must prioritize sustainable resource management to prevent overexploitation and environmental damage, focusing on value chains centered on biodiversity, ecotourism, and sustainable agriculture. Strengthening public-private partnerships and regulatory framework. It is important to strengthen this partnership and tax breaks to encourage sustainable practices in business operations. Strong laws penalizing environmentally damaging behavior are also necessary. And for the last one is which is the capacity building and skill development. Focused capacity building and skill development initiatives are crucial for promoting local workforce participation in emerging green industries, enhancing employability, productivity, and sustainable economic growth.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Nur Ain Husnina binti Muhammad Abil Hafiz, and I will continue present suggestions, critiques, and conclusions from the article. Several studies have demonstrated how sustainable investment in renewable energy sources and green technologies can significantly boost economic growth in developing nations. These countries may lessen their dependence on fossil fuels, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and improve energy security by switching to cleaner and more efficient energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. These are some of suggestions from articles. First, integration of sustainable practices in traditional industries. Two effective methods for encouraging economic expansion and protecting the environment are manufacturing and agriculture. Similarly, adopting eco-friendly manufacturing processes and waste reduction measures not only boost efficiency and competitiveness but also aligns with sustainable development goals. The introduction of sustainable practices in traditional industries not only support economic growth but also safeguards critical ecosystems and biodiversity. Second is social inclusivity and decent work. The significance of fostering social inclusivity and providing decent work opportunities also to reducing poverty, providing fair wages and decent working conditions for employees build a more resilient and engage workforce. Additionally, funding education and skill building initiative increases employability and gives the local populace the means to actively engage in sustainable economic activities. The third one is social welfare programs for human capital enhancement. A healthier and more productivity workforce is ensured by access to high quality healthcare, which lowers absenteeism and increases overall productivity. These social welfare programs help to build a more capable and resilient workforce by improving human capital, which lays the groundwork for long-term economic growth and development. Next is inclusive economic policies for reducing income inequality. These countries can promote a more equitable distribution of wealth and opportunities by giving priority to policies that lower income inequality and strengthen marginalized communities. Not only does reducing income inequality advance social justice, but it also improves social stability and creates a feeling of unity and solidarity amongst diverse communities. The goal of inclusive economic policies is to close the wealth gap and ensure the advantages of economic expansion are distributed more fairly. Examples of these policies include progressive taxation, targeted social assistance and job creation initiative. Last is social cohesion and sustainable development. It shows a connection between social cohesion and sustainable development by encouraging a sense of community and shared prosperity, inclusive economic policies that put social welfare first and lessen inequality, promote social cohesion, and to address social and environmental crises, fight economic obstacles, and ultimately promote sustainable development. Even though the systematic review clarifies the approaches used in developing economies to strike a balance between growth and sustainability, there are a number of directions in which future study can go to deepen our understanding and provide guidance for evidence-based policy. Some possible avenues for further research include the following. First is long-term impact assessment. It is to evaluate the long-term effects of sustainable growth strategies in developing economies, conduct longitudinal studies. Long-term monitoring of the result and progress of sustainable development projects will yield important insight into their viability and efficiency. Second is context-specific studies. Conduct context-specific research with a focus on particular developing economies or regions. Various nations encounter distinct obstacles and prospects, and comprehensive evaluations of particular situations that can provide focused remedies and policy suggestions. Third is innovative financing models. Examine new financing approaches and systems that can help developing economies raise money for sustainable development initiatives. Public-private financing partnerships and green bonds also can help find new funding sources. Additionally, sustainable consumption behavior. Targeted marketing tactics can benefit from research on the factors that encourage and hinders sustainable consumption and investigate how consumers in developing nations behave and what they prefer when it comes to sustainable goods and services. Last is te- last is technology transfer and adaptation. Check the opportunities and difficulties that come with adapting and transferring technologies in developing nations. It may promote sustainable development by examining how to apply and adapt green technologies to local contexts. Lastly, conclusion. In the context of developing countries, it provides insightful information about the complex relationship between economic growth and sustainability. Next, searching to determine tactics that advance economic development while guaranteeing social welfare and environmental prevention. And lastly, its compatibility with ethical production and consumption methods is essential for creating inclusive, resilient economies that support international sustainability initiatives. That's all from us. Thank you.